Welcome to Friends of Rick. We're here live at Stage 1 Creative Spaces Studios, and I'm here with two tremendous buddies of mine, Mr. Brien Porter and Mr. Lincoln Heacock. How you guys doing?
Good. Good to see you, Rick.
Yeah. What's going on, Brien? What are you up to these days?
Right now, I'm working at Intel. I'm a solutions lead, working with small ISVs and kind of helping to figure out how to position them with our technology, kind of as a better together strategy.
Yeah. And are you living East Bay, commuting to Santa Clara every day, or?
I'm living North Bay. And,
oh, that's right. You moved to North Bay.
Not commuting much because of COVID and all of that.
Yeah.
Which has actually worked out well because the timing actually worked out for us.
Yeah. So you're able to work from home and not have to do the huge commute. So now, Brien, you and I met Plumtree Software.
2001.
2001. You were just a baby. God dang. Okay. So time flies when you're having fun, but you were already managing IT when
running.
You had to be in your early to mid 20s or something.
Yeah. So running IT for Plumtree Software. That was a situation where I had a startup that had a major security breach. I came in there and was really trying to clean house, try to figure out, it was well-intentioned where you had a bunch of startup founders who had basically said, everyone gets the keys to the kingdom because, the great egalitarian masses. And you had to say, no, actually at a company that wants to go public, you actually need to make sure that everyone isn't an HR administrator, right? Everyone doesn't have access to HR files and finance files and everything files. You guys can have access to all the engineering systems, but we need to have some segmentation. I literally grabbed the web server, so www.plumtree.com, out from under someone's desk and went and shelved it as an actual server because they went on vacation, shut their computers off, and the website went down.
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah.
Wow. So security was a big deal, and then you joined Taos in 2008 for that big project. Was it 2008? For the project that we did down at Amgen in LA.
That was actually 2010.
2010. Yeah. So after Plumtree, where'd you go? Remind me.
So after Plumtree, I went to a company called SS8 Networks.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were in the digital switching space. I ran both IT and facilities for them, and then took some time off. Worked for a small startup that was in the golf and hospitality space. Learned a lot there. And then I was looking for something new right about then as our funding was starting to run out. And got a call from you saying, hey, we've got this engagement with IBM.
I'm sorry.
Down in Thousand Oaks. So you're going to need to be there on site. And we're with Amgen and trying to figure out how we can save this engagement.
Road warrior. This guy and like 30 other Taosers, but he and one other guy sort of led the whole thing. 2 years ish of flying down to Thousand Oaks on a weekly basis.
But we had established trust, right? Yeah. The CIO was appreciative of everything we did. That the team at IBM knew Jamie Rutledge, right? Who kind of held the ship for IBM. We had kind of the Amgen side. It made everything work, and it was a stressful engagement, right? To the point where people were yelling on both sides of the table, but we calmed it down. We figured out what needed to happen. So as the IBM team or the IBM consulting team kind of backed off, the Taos team that was there really were kind of the vanguards of the last people there.
You were the last guy there.
I was one of the last people there. There were actually two networking guys that stayed after me.
Yeah.
But I shut down the Colorado facilities that had IBM gear for Amgen.
Yeah.
And I was one of the people that the Amgen folks felt very comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I was really, but I really appreciated all the Amgen, the trust the Amgen.
Yeah,
folks
no, it
had
was
on me.
incredible. And I'll tell the audience a story. I went and met with the CIO. You were there. Rich Hillebrecht was there. Those were the two guys leading the project. And the CIO gave them both a hug and looked at me and said, "The only reason you're here is because of them, because they were the only light at the end of a very dark tunnel." Do you remember that? Yeah, that was pretty amazing. So thanks for that. Then you went and did some consulting at First Republic Bank. You became an FRB employee, and now Intel, and some babies along the way. You're growing up. You're growing up, man. Welcome.
Kindergartner and a second grader.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah, admit it.
All right. Lincoln Heacock, another guy.
Yeah. We got a long story, don't we?
What's going on, man?
You know, it's been a great ride. I've got my own company now, doing a lot of security work, technology management, consulting, helping companies on their journey and stuff like that. I learned a lot from you, and we got to partner through a number of clients. I remember first being connected with you back in '91, coming out of MIPS and Silicon Graphics.
Yeah, wow.
So those were the first days
That
where
is cool, yeah.
we started working there. I was at Silicon Graphics for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years.
Were you really?
And then spent a good number of years at CyberSource doing online payment
Okay, so
management.
we were there too, yeah.
And did went with Visa. Visa acquired the company, spent a couple years at Visa. But then you and I have worked at VMware. We've worked at Proteus. We've worked at Axon, police body cameras. We've worked at
That was the job from hell.
Alliance.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there was Alliance Data out in Ohio.
Oh
Like,
my
I
God,
remember
yes, I remember.
There's a number of different
We
things.
had you do all these odd job, and at Taos we had the management consulting practice, and Ilana and I kind of ran that, and so we had relationships, but we also had these engagement managers, and they would try to get in the middle and quote unquote manage you, right? And one day I went and picked you up for lunch, and you said, "Yeah, I just had one of your engagement managers, manage me." And I apologized to him, and you started laughing, and you go, "Rick, it's all fucking good, man. Whatever."
There's no problem,
And I
right.
just love that you always rolled with the punches at Taos.
You have to, right? I mean, there's so many problems that are going to come up, and you deal with the ones that need to be dealt with, and then there's just a lot of problems that don't need to be sweated.
Yeah.
And you just got to roll with the punches, and you make sure you do right by the customer, and that's what you guys always did.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to have you guys go into the Red Hat Linux hat and take out a question. And some may be long-winded. Sorry about that. I wrote it late last night. And
Yeah, can I get a shorter question?
cutting it was my effort, too. Okay, Lincoln, you go.
In an interview that I watched on CNBC, Zoom CEO Eric Yuan said that he left Cisco WebEx to develop a better technology. He left without funding in place and definitely took a big risk leaving a high-paying job. When CNBC asked him about this, he responded with, "The purpose of life is to pursue happiness, and I was not happy. Then what's the risk? How important is it to pursue passion and happiness?" And, obviously, you obviously want to pursue your passion and happiness. You do need to take care of your family, right? So there's risk and reward that you need to evaluate. But I absolutely agree. Like I absolutely loved being at Visa for a period of time. I learned a ton there, but it wasn't the right fit for me long term. And so it was like, I need to go find something out. I didn't know what else was going to take me in that next direction. And so I feel like I've kind of followed the same guidelines.
You've lived that.
Yeah, you just, something else needs to come up. I'm going to leave before I know what the something else is. To be true to myself, true to, where I want to go, and then believe that, the opportunity is going to come up. And
Yeah.
so I do agree with him in that, if you feel really convicted and your spirit is telling you to go do something else for happiness, for your family, whatever, that spirit's probably talking to you
Yeah.
for a very good reason.
And I know firsthand that's been one of your mantras, because I tried to convince you to do a couple of projects for me. You just flat out said no.
Nope.
He just told me I'm not fucking doing it in a nicer way.
In a nicer way.
Yeah. All right, Brien, your question.
So this basically says, the 60s and 70s, very easy to move here. little traffic, not a lot of people, right? Couple companies, HP, IBM, et cetera. Like, and now, like, would you move here? Would you be here? You know, the funny thing is, you get the Silicon Desert, the Silicon Forest, the Silicon this, the Silicon that. The reality is that this is still the center of the world. Like, as far as technology, this is still the center of the tech world, and you have to be here to play.
Yeah.
You have both the venture capital and the people with the big dreams that are trying to make things work. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes they're a little too aggressive. You know, we correct on both sides, but this is an amazing place. I'm a Southern Californian originally. I love Southern California, but for technology and for the fact that, you know, in my entire life, I've kind of been moving north in California. I wouldn't be anywhere else. I wouldn't have met my wife, who I adore, and had, you know, beautiful kids anywhere else. This is an amazing place. It is expensive. It has its drawbacks.
So even though it's expensive, there's fires, there's no rain, traffic, blah, 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 still the best place.
It's still an amazing place.
I
and
agree with you,
Still
actually.
magic happens. Yeah.
It's magic. You guys are magic. Woo-hoo! All right.
Thanks, Rick. Love you.